The state of the race post Harris Trump debate, which happened on September 10th. Today is September 16th. So we have good amount of time between the debate and present day. So I wanted to go ahead and give you an update as to not who I think will win, but rather the state of the race according to the most recently released polls. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off with 538, because 538 does a good job of aggregating those types of polls. And in 538, you have, ever since the debate, which was around this time, these two were done during the debate, we've had on the national level kind of like consistently Harris up by 4, 3, 5, 4, Trump up by 4 and 3 in 2 of them, and Harris up on all the other remaining polls. And that gives her an average from during the debate, which was coming into the debate, which was September 10, of 2.5% to now 2.6%. So not really a huge shift in the polls. I would have to say that the biggest shift is in one poll in particular, which I will share in a minute. But I wanted to go over the other sets of polls before I get to the wildcard poll, which I will talk about at the end of this video. Now, let's go ahead and move on from the national polling average. Remember, this goes from September 10 being at 2.5%, Harris being up by 2.5%, to now being up by 2.7%. So a little bit of a bump after the debate. Now let's go down to the battleground states. Battleground state of Arizona, we have on the most recent polls since the debate, which really is this one right here from the Trafalgar Group, although we need more information to justify this. This is an R-rated pollster with Trump up by 2, which is notable considering that he's usually up by higher. So, and we have Trump up by 0.7% as opposed to 1 point, and during the debate, after the debate, 0.7%. So a movement towards Harris, albeit very, very small. Let's move on to the next swing state, which would be Georgia. You have the same margin, 0.7% on the aggregate of polls. Since the only poll we have is a 50-50 split after the debate, it's even hasn't really budged that much. Let's see, from September 10, Trump was up by 0.8%. Now he's up by 0.7%, so a negligible difference, but still trending towards Harris. Let's move on to the next swing state, which in this case, I'm going by alphabetical order, which in this case would be Michigan. Michigan here, Harris was up on September 10th by 1.7%. Now Harris is up by 1.5%. And the most recent set of polls after the debate were September 11, and 12. Harris up by even, up by 1, and Trump up by 1, with a very, very negligible move in the polls, but this one heading towards Trump. Now let's move on to the next swing state on our list, which is Nevada. In Nevada, we had Harris up by 0.1%, and Trump up by 0.1% on September 10th going into the debate. Now Harris up by 0.3% as of today. So with these slate of polls, it's very, very close. And just to give you an idea, let's go back to the map and categorize them. Right, in Arizona, I would have Trump winning according to the polls by a tilt margin. We would have Harris winning in Michigan by also a tilt margin. And we would also have Harris winning in Nevada by, again, a tilt margin according to the most recent post-debate polls. Let's go back to other debate polls as we move along. We're continuing on from the alphabetical order. From Nevada, we move on to North Carolina, another swing state here. And in North Carolina, you have, in the aggregate of polls, you have them even even Stevens during coming into the debate. And right now you have Trump up by 0.5%. Here are the most recent polls after the debate, all of them having Trump up by either 2 or 3, and one of them being a lower quality poll being Trafalgar, although it depends on who you ask. That gives North Carolina to Trump by, again, a tilt margin. That's how close this election will be. And we go back to the polling averages. We have, if I'm not mistaken, 2 more states to categorize on the swing state category, and one of them is Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania has Harris up by 0.6%, very, very close. She was up by 0.5% in the aggregate, and now up by 0.6% in the aggregate. And the only poll we have after the election is the one from the Telegraph, having them even 45 to 45. That puts Pennsylvania on the Harris camp, giving her a very tilt margin. Pennsylvania, oh my goodness, this is so close. And that leaves us with 2 states, actually. Well, I would think it was Georgia had Trump up by a tilt margin as well. That leaves us with just Wisconsin. And in Wisconsin, per se, you have Harris up by 2.6%. In the aggregate of the poll, she was up by 2.4% on September 10th going into the debate. Now she's up by 2.6%. In the most recent polls after the debate, there's only one from Insider Advantage taken on between September 11 and September 12, has Harris up by 2 points. So the story so far is that in none of these polls there's been like a sizable bump, but then again, we need more time to kind of like measure the impact. But according to the most recent polls, Harris would win by just 5 electoral college votes. So 275 for the Harris-Walz ticket and 263 for the Trump-Vance ticket. This is purely based on the polls. This is how the race is shaping up to look like. This is the snapshot of the election coming into like the end of September, roughly less than 50 days from election day. If you have any thoughts about this, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Share your thoughts, please, on the comments below, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.